Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another segment of Money Talks with Auntie V. So today I want to talk about saving whilst you are still living at home. If you're maybe living with parents or grandparents or any other relatives and you have minimal bills, how should you be thinking about saving money and what should you be doing if you are struggling to save money? Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this topic is because I was talking with one of my clients and she was telling me that her sister is really good at managing money, but her sister was also really confused because she kept telling my client, like, why are you struggling to save when you live at home? Why are you struggling to pay off your debt when you literally have no bills? So I was thinking about this as well, and I kind of asked myself, when I was living at home, why did I also struggle to save? I remember it was after university, I had my first job, I was working in recruitment and I was getting paid about 20k a year plus commissions. So I think my take-home pay was around 1400 base, and then if I did have commissions, it would go up to like 1600 or 1700 per month. But by the end of that year, I still had my maxed out overdraft. It was about 2 grand and I hadn't even opened a savings account. So I literally had no savings. But what was so interesting was that when I actually moved out, so I got a job, I'm from London, I got a job and it was outside London. So I had to move out, I had to start paying rent. When I started learning about, managing money, saving money, I was actually able to pay off my 16k debt in about 18 months. And during that entire time, I was not living at home, I was renting. And so I've been thinking, okay, what was the difference in terms of me being able to save and pay off my debt whilst I was renting versus living at home? And it wasn't the fact that I was renting that helped me to save. It was actually the fact that I knew exactly where my money was going. And I think that that's what people struggle with. I think that when you're living at home, but you don't know where your money is going, you are less likely to save, even if you do have minimal bills. And so what I mean by this is I realized that I needed to know how much debt I'm paying off. I needed to know how much I'm saving. I needed to know how much I'm spending. And when I got really clear and I could see, okay, this is how much I'm spending, this is how much I'm putting towards my debt, I then could ask myself, okay, well, do I want to continue doing that? What do I want to change? And I think that's the major difference. And when it comes to knowing where your money is going, I think there's almost a fear because you might think, oh, I have to look into my bank account and I'm really scared. I don't want to have to, go into my bank account and see that I've been spending on all of these things. But what I will say to that is when you start looking at your accounts, it actually empowers you. And the reason why it empowers you is because you get to decide whether you liked how you spent the money or you didn't. So for instance, I liked the idea that I maybe wasn't spending as much on eating out. I was all good with that because I don't typically like to eat out very often anyway. So I was like, okay, great, I'm gonna carry on doing that. However, what I didn't like is how much I was spending on clothes. I really didn't like that because most of the clothes that I bought, I would hardly wear. And so I only knew that because I knew where my money was going. I only knew that because I'd been looking at my spending and I'd seen I was spending this amount on clothes, not wearing half of them. And so for me, I decided, okay, I'm definitely gonna cut down on that because there's honestly no point. I'm literally wasting money because I am not wearing half of these clothes. Had I not actually known where my money was going, I would not have made that decision. So really and truly, when it comes to knowing where your money is going, when it comes to understanding how much you're spending, how much you're saving, how much you're putting towards your debt, when you do that, you gain back so much more control. And then you make the decision on what you want to continue doing or what you want to stop doing. You don't have to feel shameful about it. It was literally just me realizing, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I spent that much on clothes. Okay, I know exactly what I'm going to do about it. It was not me then giving myself a pity party because I spent that much. It was really me taking back control, saying, do you know what? No, I'm going to make a difference. And then that's what I did. And I would also add that when you start really understanding where your money is going, you are more likely to save so much more money because you understand how much you're spending, and then you also understand how much you want to put towards your savings or how much you might want to put towards your debt. And you can take that same skill when you're living at your parents, you can take that same skill when you eventually move out. So if we take myself as an example, when I was first working my job, and I was making like 20k a year, had my maxed out overdraft, didn't have any savings. But when I moved out and I was renting and I was saving a lot more money to start paying off my debt, then once I paid off my debt, at the same time COVID hit. So, you know, there was all this lockdown and stuff, and I decided that I was actually temporarily gonna move back home because where I was living, I didn't have any family or friends around me. I was always in London anyway, so I thought, I don't know how long this lockdown is gonna be for, let me just take some of my stuff and move back home. I was still paying a little bit of rent, I think for a couple of months, because obviously I had to give notice. But then once I moved back home, I still had the same habits, I still had the same skills, to the point where I was literally saving like 70% of my income. And I made a YouTube video about that, showing how I was saving that 70%. But here's the difference. When I then moved out again, because I moved out when I got married, I still took the same skill of knowing exactly where my money is going into this new place where we were renting. And so it got to the point where we were saving like 40 to 50% of our income. And that was mainly because, again, I took the same skill of knowing exactly where my money is going. So when you know where your money is going, you can take that everywhere, whether you're living with your parents, whether you're renting, whether you're paying a mortgage. It will literally help you for years to come. And it will give you the confidence as well to know how you're going to hit your savings goals. It will give you the confidence to know when you're actually going to have that debt paid off. And it will also give you the confidence to know that you can still spend money if you want to. You can still spend money and enjoy that money whilst being able to hit your other goals, because you know exactly what is happening with your money. And that's exactly what we cover in one-on-one coaching as well. So by looking at your numbers, you will then be able to save at least 30% more of your money so that you can start working towards your house deposit to finally move out. Or it could be that we use that to pay off your credit card debt or your overdraft, so that you no longer have to be thinking about making payments again, especially if you want to move out later on. So make sure you do book a call with me to find out more about one-on-one coaching and how I can help you save more money. But really and truly, when it comes to knowing exactly where your money is going, I'm telling you, it will provide so much peace for you, and you will be surprised at how much you can end up saving just by knowing what is going on with your money. So if you did like this video, then please do give me a thumbs up if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments, are you currently staying at home, or are you renting, or are you paying a mortgage? I do post every Sunday, so if you would like to know more, then of course you can subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next week. Okay, I didn't realize how warm it is. I think it's like 20 degrees right now, so I'm gonna head back inside.